When you hear the term automatic weapons, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Maybe something from a movie or, headlines about conflict. But what if the really fascinating story is about something else? The actual market behind it all. A market that's, well, dynamic, changing incredibly fast, driven by tech leaps, global forces, and some really tough questions. That's exactly what we're diving into today. We've been digging into this really comprehensive market study. It's from cognitive market research called Automatic Weapons Market Trends and Future Opportunities.
Hmm.
And honestly, it's full of surprising stuff about a sector that's fundamentally reshaping things.
Yeah, definitely. So our mission here really is to unpack what's driving this market. We'll look at the technology, some truly fascinating advancements, the key companies involved, and also some of the, let's say, significant challenges. By the end, you should have a much clearer picture of what's happening in this really critical global sector.
Okay, so let's set the stage. Cognitive market research isn't talking about just, a little bit of growth. They describe it as substantial growth. It seems like this market is really taking off.
It is. And it's fueled by a few key things. Rising defense budgets pretty much everywhere, growing geopolitical tensions, unfortunately,
Yeah.
and of course just relentless technological development.
And when we talk about automatic weapons in this context, what exactly are we covering?
Good question. We're talking assault rifles, machine guns, even automatic grenade launchers. Basically, the core tools for modern military and law enforcement globally.
Right. Let's get into the numbers then, because they really show the scale. In 2024, the market was valued around, USD 10,624.1 million.
That's the figure, yeah. About $10.6 billion.
But the projection is what catches your eye. Expected to hit almost USD 19,664.5 million by 2032. That's a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR of 8.0%. That seems pretty fast.
It's a strong growth rate, definitely. And a big driver is the push for weapons that are lighter but still pack a punch high-caliber stuff. Plus, the integration of, smart targeting systems and AI. Artificial intelligence is becoming huge here.
AI already.
Oh, yeah. It's moving fast. Think of this. Back in 2023, a major defense contractor rolled out a new automatic rifle. And this thing had AI-assisted targeting built right in.
Wow. And did it make a difference?
According to the reports, yes. Significantly better accuracy and, interestingly, less wasted ammunition. It shows how AI isn't just theory anymore. It's having a tangible impact right now in the field.
That example really says it all. It's not just overall growth. There are these specific, powerful trends shaping things. So what are some of the other key trends the report flagged?
Well, one big one is the increased use of automatic weapons that have smart fire control systems integrated from the start, and real-time battlefield connectivity. Think instant data sharing.
What does that mean practically on the ground?
It means they're more effective, operationally. It helps reduce human error, which is critical, and it gives soldiers much better situational awareness, knowing what's happening around them.
And you mentioned AI. It sounds like automation is a bigger theme, too.
Absolutely.
Mm.
There's a definite move towards more automation. You see rising investments in unmanned combat systems, drones, ground robots, that sort of thing. And these automatic weapons are increasingly being integrated onto platforms that are remotely operated or even fully autonomous.
So the weapons themselves have to evolve alongside that trend.
Exactly. That's driving innovation too. Continuous improvements in ammunition technology, making rounds smarter or more effective. Modular designs are big too. Weapons you can easily customize for different roles. And just overall improvements in durability and adaptability. They need to work anywhere, anytime.
Okay, so it's a global phenomenon. Let's talk geography. The 2024 market shares are pretty revealing, aren't they?
They really are. North America leads the pack.
About 40% of the total market. That's a huge chunk.
It is. Driven by, well, very high defense spending, big modernization programs for the military. And, of course, many of the world's largest defense companies are based there.
Makes sense. And Europe.
Europe's next, with around 28%. That's being pushed by more military cooperation between countries, increased spending too, and ongoing counterterrorism efforts.
Okay, then Asia Pacific.
Asia-Pacific holds about 22%, but it's growing fast. You've got rising geopolitical tensions in the region, big defense budget increases in places like China and India, plus significant investment in developing their own weapons systems.
So homegrown capabilities are becoming more important there.
Definitely. And even the Middle East and Africa, they're seeing steady demand because of regional conflicts, security threats, and increased buying.
It paints a picture of global priority shifting for sure. And who are the big companies driving this, according to the report?
You see some familiar names at the top. Lockheed Martin Corporation, Northrop Grumman Corporation, FN Herstal.
Lockheed Martin is the biggest.
Yeah, based in the U.S., they hold about 18.9% of the market share. Their big focus seems to be integrating advanced targeting and those AI-assisted fire controls we talked about.
Okay. And Northrop Grumman, also US based.
Right. They're at 15.3%. Their angle seems to be more on enhancing long-range automatic firepower, and that includes weapons for both crewed vehicles and unmanned platforms.
And FN Herstal, they're Belgian, aren't they?
That's right, from Belgium, holding about 12.4%. They're known for some really iconic weapons like the FN Scar rifle or the Minimi light machine gun. They supply a lot of NATO forces,
Hmm.
and their reputation is built on durability and reliability.
So pulling that together, it sounds like this growth is really a result of militaries upgrading everywhere. Modernization programs, border security needs, counterterrorism.
Exactly. And all that creates demand for weapons that are, yes, powerful, but also lighter, hold more rounds, and are crucially digitally connected.
It's an incredible pace of change. But of course, it can't all be smooth sailing. There must be challenges, right?
Oh, absolutely. With this kind of technology and market, you definitely run into significant headwinds.
Yeah.
Let's pivot to that. One major factor is stringent regulations.
Arms control laws.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Particularly strict laws in certain parts of the world can really limit how these weapons are produced, how they're distributed, and especially export controls.
And this is where it gets, well, really complicated, doesn't it? The ethical side.
Huge ethical concerns.
Yeah.
The idea of AI-driven autonomous weaponry, that sparked massive global debate.
It's not just technical, is it? It feels more fundamental.
It is. The core worry is about weapons that could potentially operate, select, and engage targets without a human directly intervening in that final decision. That raises profound questions about accountability. Who's responsible if something goes wrong? And how do you ensure compliance with international humanitarian law, the laws of war?
You hear terms like human in the loop versus human on the loop. What's the distinction there?
It's a key distinction people are debating. Human in the loop generally means a person directly initiates or approves each action. Human on the loop suggests the system can act autonomously, but a human can supervise and potentially step in. These ethical debates, these calls for really strict oversight from international groups and governments, they could genuinely slow down or change how widely these AI systems get adopted.
So regulation and ethics are major hurdles. What about the cost? These sound expensive.
Extremely expensive. The R&D, the testing, the production, especially when you're building in cutting-edge targeting, real-time data processing, maybe even smart ammunition. The cost can be astronomical.
And that creates barriers.
Absolutely. It limits who can afford this tech. Smaller defense contractors might struggle to compete. And emerging economies, even if they want to modernize, might simply find the price tag too high. It creates a potential technology gap.
Okay, so we have regulations, deep ethical questions, high costs. But despite all that, the future looks like more innovation, not less.
It certainly seems that way. The momentum behind innovation, driven by defense needs and contracts, is really strong. Let's look ahead at some of the advancements coming down the pike.
What stands out?
Well, AI-powered robotics is a big one. It's moving beyond just weapons control to broader military operations. The goal is enhancing combat efficiency, but also improving decision-making under pressure.
Is there a recent example of that?
Yeah, actually. In July 2024, a company called Zen Technologies introduced something called the Prahasta system. It's an AI-powered robotic system designed to help with things like mission planning, reconnaissance, navigation.
How does it work?
It uses LiDAR, basically laser scanning, to create detailed 3D maps of the terrain in real time. Combined with machine learning, it gives units incredibly detailed situational awareness, much better than traditional maps.
Interesting. And what about the weapons themselves? Are we still seeing upgrades to existing types?
Oh yes, next-generation light machine gun programs are definitely expanding. For instance, back in March 2023, Israel's IWI, that's Israel Weapon Industries, they landed a contract with Estonia to supply 1,000 of their NG-7 Negev light machine guns. It's about replacing older models with lighter, more reliable, more effective firepower.
So continuous improvement alongside the more radical innovations.
Exactly. And looking even further out, expect more focus on things like smart ammunition, rounds with advanced tracking, or even guidance systems for pinpoint accuracy, which also helps reduce collateral damage.
That could be a game changer.
Potentially, yes. Also, more modular weapon platforms. Think greater customization, easier swapping of components for different missions, more flexibility, and electronic fire control systems will just keep getting smarter and more integrated.
So, the bottom line for the future seems to be this continued blend of human soldiers and advanced technology.
That's the direction. Man-machine collaboration is a huge focus in defense strategy, coupled with these leaps in digital battlefield tech. It's fundamentally changing how militaries operate and think about conflict.
Okay, let's try to wrap this up then. What's the main takeaway from this deep dive?
I'd say the key takeaway is that the automatic weapons market is evolving incredibly quickly. It's really dynamic right now, driven by these major tech breakthroughs, global modernization efforts, and just a relentless demand for more sophisticated firepower.
And even with those significant hurdles, the regulations, the ethical debates, the costs.
Right, even with those constraints, the expectation is for continued innovation and market growth. Companies investing in truly cutting-edge designs, better automation, more adaptable platforms, they seem poised to lead the way.
It sounds like sustained growth is almost baked in, given global
It
realities.
seems likely. Persistent security concerns around the world, coupled with rising military budgets, it fuels the demand. Nations are looking for that edge, better accuracy, lighter weight for troops, improved maneuverability in complex situations.
So, bringing it back to the listener, what does all this mean for you as we look ahead? It feels like this deep integration of AI, robotics, real-time data into weaponry. It's not just an incremental change, it's set to redefine warfare.
I think that's right, and it leaves us with a really profound question to think about. Given this incredibly rapid innovation, this increasing reliance on automation, even autonomy, in weapons, how do we as societies grapple with what human control and human responsibility actually mean in the conflicts of the future?